I enjoy reading about the stories of criminals and their methods of killing. I'm fascinated by their ways of appearing and their thoughts on killing without mercy or feeling. I have come across many terrifying crime stories, and whenever I hear about a murder, I feel a wave of fear, thinking that a killer might be lurking or that someone might come to kill me. You wouldn't believe me if I said I love that feeling of fear because I know it won't last, and I'll quickly forget the story. Today I want to share with you the story of a man I have heard about since I was a child. I used to hear people tell his story or use him as an example. The story's protagonist is a man named Ismail Nasser, 46 years old, married but without children due to infertility. He worked as a night guard in a glass company and had a low salary, living in the city of Oran, Algeria. His shift ended at 6 a.m., and he would return home. He was an ordinary man, but after reaching the age of 46, he changed completely. Strangely, upon returning home from work, he would beat his wife mercilessly and torture her for no reason. He would pour boiling water on her and hit her with anything within reach. He acted like a madman, venting his anger on the poor woman, who suffered greatly. He would lock the door tightly to prevent her from escaping. Despite her many injuries, she remained resilient, which only angered Nasser more, eventually driving him to kill her in a horrifying manner. He tied her by her hands and feet, took a large knife like the ones used for slaughtering on April 9, 1986, and beheaded her. He then opened her chest, removed her heart and lungs, and cut off her hands, fingers, and legs. After that, he gathered all the body parts and hid them in the wardrobe. This horrific crime was a sign of the birth of a monster. Nasser stayed alone in the house for a month after the crime, then decided to move to another place. His destination was the city of Guelma, where he committed all his monstrous crimes. There, Nasser worked in a fabric factory, with his shift starting at 7 a.m. and ending at 3 p.m. After finishing his factory shift, he would begin his second job as a killer, taking a tour around the city. He would choose his victims from among the women, seducing them with sweet talk about life, work, and love. Every day he would take a victim to his home, assault her, and then kill her in his unique way by tying her hands and feet. He would then take out his large knife and cut off her head, repeating what he did to his wife. After finishing dismembering the body, he would not hide it in the wardrobe, but would take only the heart and the woman's reproductive organ and hide them in the wardrobe. The rest of the body parts would be placed in a bag, and at night he would leave the house with it, heading to the forest. In the middle of the forest, he would dig a hole and throw the body into it, and he would do the same with each victim he killed. The police began investigating the case of the missing women but found no evidence. 3 years had passed since the birth of the monster, during which he had killed 33 women, and perhaps he would have killed more if fate hadn't led to his capture. On January 3, 1989, Nasser was arrested for allegedly harassing a woman named Samira Ashur, who had filed a complaint against him with the police, claiming that Nasser had harassed her on the bus. She said he sat next to her, tried to take her home, and started to flirt with her by touching her, but Samira didn't allow him to proceed, shouting on the bus. Afterward, they went to the police station. The police were suspicious of Nasser, as they were then closely examining harassment cases, believing they might lead them to the serial killer who had troubled them. They proceeded to search Nasser's house, where they were shocked by the disgusting scenes of blood and foul odors. The biggest surprise awaited them in the wardrobe, where they found human hearts and reproductive organs belonging to women. Nasser was tried and sentenced to death, which was carried out on January 20, 1989. This marked the end of the monster and was considered a celebration for the women who had been terrorized by the killer for years.